All my things have a life and a story, and it's not about like what we own. It's about the experiences.
Hey guys, it's Shelby Michelle with Farmhouse Living, and welcome back to our channel. We have another home tour. We are at Jamie's house of One Quaint Maison, and y'all, it is a French country dream. But what I love about this home is that it's a newer home, which bringing character and charm and this, I don't know, feeling that this home is giving me is not normal in a home of this age. So I'm excited for you to give us our tips because we want to take them with us and apply them in our own home. Let's start at your entryway and talk about, you have a sitting room and an office right when you come in. Those rooms done when you came.
And we've actually redone the whole house. Every room in this house has been touched. I have put my stamp on it. So yeah, when you walk in, you office on one side, and that room we painted. It was all the dark oak that you would see, back in the 1990s, early 2000s. So I painted that, and then on the other side is what was like a sitting room slash our like a formal dining room. And so I took part of that room and made it more of a sitting room, and then the rest is into the butler's pantry,
which is what stopped my scroll. I was like, I have to just come here and just explore that pantry.
And I knew when I walked in and we bought the house, I knew like someday that's going to be my butler's pantry. I just knew because who uses a formal dining room anymore? We had like this whole open space in here. So there was no room. It was totally wasted space. So I knew exactly when I walked in the house and we were looking like that's going to be a butler's pantry.
Yes.
Yeah, your office is peppercorn and it reads a little bit like blue gray, and it is so stunning. We were talking about peppercorn as one of those colors that reads different in every home, but I think it's my favorite in this home. Yeah, it's big oversized desk, and you just accessorized every piece and part of this home to the nine. So
well,
I just love it.
You were telling us before that you had collected all of those books on eBay in the bookshelf.
Right. So I found a color palette that I knew I liked, and I just bought that same book over and over again. And then, turned them and switched them, and then it looks like you have a wonderful book collection of books. But they were all thrift books on eBay.
So when you find something specific, like were some of them a little bit pricier or all at a budget?
Being on eBay, and a lot of times what you'll find with books, people want to get rid of them. A lot of times they'll say, send me an offer. I am all about sending you my, best offer. $2 or $3 a book.
Okay.
Yeah, right?
That's a budget. Yeah. That's what I was was it like $15, $20?
Because $3, they would come about $2 or $3.
Because you've got a lot of books.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge bookcase. So I had a lot of books to fill.
We got to talk about the butler's pantry before we talk about the kitchen. A lot of houses flooded during the storm. Was that when yours did?
Right.
So the Texas ice storm took over, but what a blessing to be able to
like I've had this design in my head and for so long, and then it was horrific when we walked in and saw the whole house flooded. But then when it's time to get to work, I knew exactly what my design was, and it was easy for me to just
get it done.
And we'll get to this in a little bit, but you'd actually redone the primary bathroom, and you said that was the only room that didn't get flooded.
Right.
So how amazing. That was just perfect.
Your hard work was left untouched.
We drove up, the water is flooding down the driveway. We were just like, it was our first weekend to get out of the house because we, all the COVID stuff, and then to be doing a huge DIY project.
Yeah.
Every weekend because we did the shower and like everything. It was just so much work, and just to get out of the house and
came back,
get some fresh air, and then to drive home and see water gushing down your driveway.
Oh my God.
Are you kidding?
And then we came in, and it was the only room that was saved. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Sometimes the internet is an endless design magazine with so much inspiration, but other times it's like a dark alley you just don't want to enter. And that's where our online guardian angel comes in to save the day, Surfshark. So there are two things I need as I am curating amazing content for you guys. One is a cup of coffee, which we're gonna make right now, and the next is a good VPN, and I use Surfshark. Think of it as a protective bubble that can virtually transport your laptop anywhere in the world. Maybe you want to watch something in the UK, but it's not available. You can use Surfshark to switch your location to be able to access content that's not available in your location. Surfshark does not monitor, track, or store what you do online. You sign up for one account and can use multiple devices. Surfshark has a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there is no risk in trying it out and seeing if it is a good resource for you. Make sure to use the code Farmhouse for 3 months free, and I have a link in the description below. Thank you so much for supporting our channel. We only share products and services that we love and that we are very excited to use for ourselves. So enjoy the rest of the tour, guys.
So when you did your butlers, did you dream of your kitchen or your butlers first? Or at the same time?
I would say I always knew that that was going to be a butler's, but then when I started kind of doing the design, I started with the kitchen.
Okay.
As far as like design wise, I started in here, liked what I was doing. So I'm like, I'm going to just kind of take that in there. So like I knew I wanted Chicago brick behind here. And I'm like, I would love to have a wall in my butler's pantry. So I carried that on into that space too. Started with the design elements in here and then just carrying them into that space.
So good. And the color of the cabinetry in there is wrought iron, you said?
It's wrought iron, but then we tweaked it a little bit to match the blue and the soda ring.
Oh, okay, yes.
So we added a little bit more of the blue color so it comes out a little bit more bluer than green. It's a LaConche. No, we ordered it. It took us a year to get it.
Really?
But again, that's always been on my wish list since I was, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to get married and have a fabulous wedding. And I'm like, I'm going to have a LaConche and make it fun.
So dreams come true, guys.
Yeah.
Well, so we did explore your butler's pantry a little bit, and you opened a drawer and it was just gloriously organized.
Yeah.
Do you have any organization tips?
I would just say keep light things.
Okay, together.
That would be my thing. And then you use storage baskets and whatnot to keep those things organized. But
So good.
and it's been funny. I mean, from the time I was little, my mom would laugh at me because everybody else is out playing, doing all this stuff. I'm in my room cleaning out my closet. My closet was always immaculate, and I love doing it for fun.
Okay.
Good news is your husband like that too. So everything stays nice and put together here.
Right. And it's funny too because we laugh with the whole doing the house stuff. He's always like, you're operations and I'm engineering, because he's an engineer. And so in real life, it's kind of like I'm operations design and he's engineering. So it just kind of all works together.
Yeah.
We're just like the puzzle piece just kind of goes together. So it's fun.
So good.
Yeah.
So one thing that you see in both your pantry and the kitchen is these glorious cabinets with these vintage doors. So you said Kathy found them. So we toured Kathy's home, and you actually work at my favorite room. And so it's perfect because you're very resourced and beautiful things, right?
I've always been, I've always loved Kathy's store. And so before I actually worked there, I was one of those that would just walk in and swoon over everything. And I saw that she had one set of those doors and I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I'm looking for. So she had a source for me. And so, she got me the doors for a year. And then I also got another set for in the butler's pantry.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Wonderful resource.
Well, I love that they're repeat in each space, but it doesn't feel redundant. It just creates a flow and just a feel.
And if you look at the hardware from these doors to the ones in the butlers are actually a little bit different. So it's not the exact same door. And actually in France, those were windows. They weren't doors.
Cool.
Just a little history.
Yeah.
Down, my favorite thing about this entire space, which is so warm and welcoming, is your eye for styling.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my dream of styling. Like, if I could style any certain way, this would be it. Because, again, everybody knows I am a huge fan of all things nature and coral and wood and earthy, and everything in here, the pottery, the art, all the things just seamlessly go together. And that's a gift. I mean, not everyone can do that.
Yeah.
So I love that. And you just collected things with your travels.
Right. Travels. Again, Etsy, eBay, just,
Over time.
Antique shops. I love, I'm not a big box girl at all. I love to have things that have a story and have life behind them. And that's kind of what you see.
Yeah.
Love it.
So your countertops are soapstone.
Soapstone.
Tell us about your experience with those countertops. Everyone always asks when, like, if it's quartzite or quartz or marble, how is it holding up? How's it functioning for you?
Love it. A lot of people worry about it scratching or nicking or that kind of thing. I will say, disclaimer, we don't have kids, so there is that. But I mean, we've had it a year and it's beautiful. Some people, want to put mineral oil, what not on it. I don't. I don't put anything on it. I just let it kind of patina and do its thing. And I love it. I would do it again and again and again.
I love this kind of, earthy and
Natural state.
Yep.
Speaking of natural elements, the plaster, I feel like, gives, like, it calls to all that, like the wood on the stain on the island and the soapstone. And so you were telling us that your walls and the vent hood, it's not normal drywall. You put plaster on it. Tell us about your experience with that.
So we use a product that's called limestone plaster. They have different, you can do like sand or stone looks. So there's different looks that you can do. So we just kind of played with it. I kind of actually picked something in between sand and stone for that look because I wanted that kind of that European feeling. The reason that I used the limestone was because it would match with my paint color in the rest of the house, which is Natural Cream by Benjamin Moore. So we were able to take the plaster and then make it match the rest of the paint. I mean, it gives it an old world feeling again. That's what I love. The brick, the copper.
Yes. Well, I also think a lot, we were talking about the heavy trowel that everyone embraced in faux finish. I feel like having the plaster and that look, it makes all of that feel new and elevates it and not feel like, oh, this is something that used to be in style. You've done that really well, bringing it all together and updating it and making it look elevated and well designed. So your dining room also kind of has the same feel. You said, we agree, like one dining should suffice. Right. But this was originally just like a breakfast nook situation.
Right. And I put a big table in here, 4 chairs now, but I have more if we need to, and the table expands. So if we need to go bigger, we can always go bigger for company. But yeah, I think one table's enough.
Yeah.
And so everything does feel a little French inspired. What do you call your style?
I would say it's French country, but I like the term. Brooke Genetti was one of my big influencers. She calls her like Patina style. All my things have a life and a story, and it's not about like what we own. It's about the experiences, the things that we have. And so, I mean, everything has a story. I mean, I can look at something and be like, oh, that was when I went on this trip, or, everything's a feeling or an experience, and that's what I think makes a house a home.
Yeah.
I like the term patina style.
Oh, we love it. And we love everything patina style. And so your lighting, is it new? It's French inspired, but is it new or is it?
Most of the lighting, the lamps and the lighting is all 8 and gray. Can't get a lot of anymore because it's kind of gone more modern. But back in the day when he had more of this look, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So all the lamps and the chandeliers are 8 and gray. These are visual comfort. So I think they've discontinued this particular light, but you can still get this kind of look.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, kind of mostly 8 and gray.
I know you're wanting to tell it that I have an 8 and gray chandelier.
Oh, well, so what happened was I bought this oversized 8 and gray for their wedding to hang in the gazebo where they were married. And their ceilings are low in all the homes they've ever bought. So
it was just, we were whacking our heads on it.
Where are we going to put it? And it literally has the perfect spot in the putting shed.
But it's my favorite place. Like, I wish I could live in there. So
we've wallpapered it.
So it's not like it's not like I chose a lesser spot. It's the best spot.
Yeah.
Speaking of Chicago brick, like, you carried that look into your living room. You did have to redo the fireplace after the flood as well.
Right. We were planning on keeping, there was like a flagstone facade on the fireplace, and we just had so much going on that we thought we would keep it. I didn't know that I wanted to put a vintage beam on there. So we put the beam up on the fireplace, and then the facade started coming off of the wall. So I knew immediately, like, okay, I've always wanted a Chicago brick fireplace, so we're just going to do it. So that's what we did. I drew out what I wanted it to look like, and then we had somebody come and they did it exactly like I wanted it.
It's perfect. It'll never go out of style. It's so good.
Originally, I started our a previous house, I did the brick floor like in the laundry room like I have here.
Yeah.
So I knew that I loved that look. So I knew when we bought this house, there was going to be a lot of Chicago brick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's all real brick. It's, tops and bottoms.
Made.
Wow.
And we always say, and you've learned this too, you said, if something goes wrong, lean into it. It's usually going to be one of the best features.
Right.
Just be happy.
And my husband actually says out of the whole remodel, the fireplace is his favorite.
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
so good. Well, speaking of the brick and the brick flooring, we have shown brick flooring and we get just so many comments. Can you clean them? Can you clean them? Do you seal them? Tell us.
People asking me about that too. And honestly, I love a brick floor. I think it's amazing. I do mop it and I take a vacuum over it. And you seal it. When we put it in, we sealed it. And I seal it probably maybe once every 3 years. I'll go back and seal it. I haven't had any problems. It doesn't show all the dirt. I mean, it just helps the room have that old world feeling again. I love a brick floor. I always, we put a rug down, a jute rug or something like that.
And the floors throughout are white oak throughout the rest of the home. They're stunning. They're wide plank.
Right.
But one of the things that I also love that you've done throughout the home is you don't use traditional furniture. So, for example, your TV is not over your standard TV stand. It's this stunning French dresser. And you have another dresser in the family room as well, in the living room. And these pieces just really are whimsical and unexpected. And they also are a part of what I love about your home.
Right. Again, going back to just that patina style, I like to mix old and new. So my new stuff will be, the sofa, the pillows, the rugs. But then as far as the old, I love bringing in a wonderful antique chest or commode or even like, the vintage doors. I just like combining the old with the new.
Mm-hmm.
So is the coffee table new?
It is. That's an eloquent. The last coffee table that we had a wooden top. And it drove me crazy because I was like, coaster, coaster, coaster. This one has like a marble top on it. And oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah. You're like, okay, so I put
Don't worry. I'm like, oh yeah, you can put your drink there,
Yeah.
I like how it's lighter and brighter and it just helps the space. So
Great.
Well, off your living room is also your primary suite, which also is dark and moody. So it is fun because when I come in, it is like light and refreshing. There's nothing heavy. But you have chosen darker colors, which is so fun to kind of see that mixed together. But it's not a harsh contrast because it's not modern. So I love getting an example of that use of colors.
And in the bedrooms upstairs too, they're all moody. I love just a moody wall or moody cabinets. I think it with the high ceilings and all of the lighting in the house too, I can get away with it.
Oh yeah,
better. So
yeah,
It's just you use a lot of linens that are light and airy and bright, so that helps it.
right, light floors.
yeah, for sure. So your bathroom, you redid that before everything else. It kind of set the tone. Tell us about that renovation process.
Right, that was a hubby and I DIY project.
That does not look DIY at all. So you can go ahead and come over, teach me your skills.
It's funny because when he met me, I had just bought my first house. So I went and got my keys and we just started dating. And he came in and I was literally like ripping wood paneling off and he didn't leave. He stayed. I was like, you passed the test. Wow. So he's been renovating with me ever since. So yeah, and he's got it in his blood too. So
That's funny.
we did that house. We did that previous house in Kinney. And then, so when we moved in here again, I love doing the design. Like I see things that I like and I just put it in my head.
Yeah.
Kind of one of those people. And so when we started ripping that out, it was just, again, it was the old paint colors with the faux finishing on it and the curves, all the curves. And
Yeah.
it was, the big tub, the old
Giant one.
yeah, it's just like, what is anybody gonna like? It's like a hot tub in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ripped all of that out. Again, I knew I wanted this kind of French country look. The bathtub, like the range, I've always wanted that style of bathtub.
So good.
I gotta have that one.
Yeah.
The shower, that was fun and kind of trying to figure that out because it's all marble and we had never really done anything like that big on such a huge project.
Yeah.
So to be able to do like the water backing and all of that stuff behind it correctly and whatnot, that was all my husband's doing. And wow, he did a fantastic job.
Yeah, the only thing that you actually had was someone come in and help you with the plumbing to the tub because you had to drill out since you moved it.
Right.
And everything else you did yourself. And it is really perfection. I mean, it's all
It does not look DIY.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I love it. And one of the other things I love is that you did that room first, because for Ron and I always do that room last. And I said, next time, that's the first thing I'm going to do, because that's your space.
Right.
Good on you for that.
That room, well, maybe the kitchen, but other than that, it's the second room that we use the most.
Yeah.
So it was a smaller space. So that's why we're like, we'll start with this. But then we also did our master closet. Like, that was just, your typical bar. And he did all of those built-ins in our master closet.
Oh my.
So that was a fun project too. Was getting all of that to fit like a puzzle. It was just,
Wow.
and his woodworking skills, I'm impressed.
Engineer skills for sure. So good.
You leave that open, and that room you can just, your closet. People are leaving pantries and closets without doors now.
Yes.
I think that's great.
If you can do it,
Do it.
don't open mine.
Walked in there, like you used to have like a door to open to go into the bathroom, then you had a closet door, and then you had a door for the bathroom. So it was like 3 doors in this one little area, and it drove me crazy. So I would like, I'm ripping all that out, and I'm gonna go get a vintage barn door, and we're gonna slide. And so that's how we did that, because it was just like doors everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
That's good. Yeah, a barn door will come in handy when you don't want that. But yours, you can get away with keeping that barn door open.
Yeah.
And not everybody.
No. And I think that's a great way to add character. If you have a newer build home, go source vintage doors.
Oh, yeah.
Vintage cabinet doors, vintage barn doors, vintage. We've added a lot in our home.
Yeah.
And it really does absolutely transform a room.
Yeah.
and like the vintage doors too, going into our butlers. We got all of those doors were from Antiques and Vintage.
Yeah.
Those are our favorite.
Yes. Greg, we love you.
So tell us about your Etsy store.
So it's called One Quaint Maison. So my parents actually have a business in Lubbock. So kind of doing antiques and whatnot. So growing up, I was going to market with my mom. And so that's kind of where I learned how to do all the buying and this kind of thing. And then I became a sales rep at market for a company. And again, getting out and buying. And this is kind of where just my love of French and vintage textiles and that type of thing came into play. And so I started buying like European grain sacks and whatnot. And then COVID hit. And so I'm stuck at home, and I'm like, I'm going to teach myself how to sew. I have all of these grain sacks. So I'm like, here we go. So, I'm just, I called my mom, and she's like, you're what? You're learning how to sew? And so we all had a good laugh. But yeah, now I have a Etsy shop called One Quaint Maison, and I make pillows and, stockings, home decor things that you'll see around the house. I've added vintage grain sacks and European textiles.
So good.
Oh.
Well, we will link that in the description, also a pinned comment and a card, because I feel like we all need to go shopping and peruse all that goodness.
Yeah.
And they can also find you on Instagram, also One Quaint Maison. Okay.
That's exciting. I am just so happy to be here. And again, I know I say this a lot, but y'all, I'm going home and I'm doing some stuff because this is my style. I love the vintage doors. I love what you've done in the kitchen. And so I'm rethinking everything.
That happens every time we leave. Like, now we're doing a home tour every week, and we're like, how can we redo our house here, this way, and this way, and this way? But we love it anyway.
Liz, thank you so much for having us. We've had so much fun. Love the home, the neighborhood, and we'll have to come back sometime and tour the upstairs.
Yes, that's there. And then we're working on the backyard too.
And the yard. Yeah, people have been loving our yard.
People love backyards.
Yeah, plant girls, so they'll have to come see.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, so make sure you follow Jamie. Close us out, Mom.
Like, subscribe, share with your friends, and look at all the links that Shelby will put together, because the spaces are stunning that we've mentioned, and also the resources that she shared. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.